everyone and welcome to another episode of Rift News, the show that everyone keeps coming back to, even if everyone already knows what we are going to talk about. You know, I'm a good guy, I read my Discord, I listen to the community, but you guys leave me asking, is this actually better? So yeah, at this point everyone is watching this show just to see my own opinion on whatever Riot is announcing, so you know what, let's turn this into a reaction. And this time around there's a lot of big announcements from Riot Games, so without further ado, let's have a look at it. As always, starting with League. In League of Legends, besides the testing of Mundo, on PBE Riot already revealed 2 new skins. And from the feedback, everyone loves them, because from the normal and they gave us and Of course, these 2 are Pool Party, Braum and Set. Now, everyone who knows me know that I am more into the serious skins. The comical skins are fine, but I'm not really the targeted audience. So yes, the spell effects these 2 skins have are cool, but what I'm really glad to see is that we have a diaper Braum now, and Seth tied his hoodie around his waist. I love doing that. Whenever it is too hot and I have a hoodie, I take it off, I tie it around my waist, but everyone thinks that I am mad because you don't do it these days. That was so 80s, so instead, Kit Kat! If there is one thing I didn't expect, it would be this. Nope, this. The last thing that's really happening in League is that Mundo actually got his own theme. Now, I don't think the theme is really overly awesome, but hey, it fits his theme. It is really creepy, and that's it. But now onto TFT. Here Riot is teasing the next TFT event called the Skyglass Origins. This event is themed around the Reckoning and the Black Mist, and it is all taking place around the Skyglass, which was shattered in the TFT cinematic. Essentially, we will be putting this window back together, which is really interesting because the original TFT gameplay trailer used a floating talking piece of the Skyglass to introduce us to the game. So back then, Riot was already teasing this event. And thankfully, in their post, Riot gave us more details on this. Play any game of Teamfight Tactics to complete special missions and rebuild the Skyglass piece by piece. Each mission you complete will unlock a piece of the Skyglass, which you can restore to learn about one origin from the world of Reckoning. You might even get some gameplay tips along the way. You know what this means? TFT is getting some lore. I'm not covering it. The missions will be available from June 15th to July the 8th. There are 15 missions total, each tied to corresponding piece of the Skyglass. The missions will need to be completed sequentially and will also give a reward. The initial missions will provide 10 star shards each, while the last 3 will provide a magical Misfits Little Legends egg and 2 unique emotes. Skyglass Origins is free to play. Just play by heading to the Skyglass Origins tab in the client, or checking out your missions tab. Remember, Pengu and the gang are counting on you to help them, so get playing, restore the Skyglass, and use its secrets to bring balance back to the Convergence. So this is essentially a new kind of progression. This is nice because these days the TFT players stop playing after getting to one of the following milestones. They either complete the pass, they get to the rank they wanted to get to, and now there is Skyglass. So at least now there is another goal to aim for. But that's it for TFT, so now let's move on to Legends of Runeterra. Here the Dark Horizon event is happening, and people are already experimenting with the first wave of skins. But Riot already released their new roadmap, so let's have a look at what's coming. Just recently, once again, Riot upgraded the Lab of Legends, and they added in champions from the newest expansion. These are live right now. But soon after that, on June the 16th, Riot will also release another wave of new champion skins. These will be tied to Pool Party, and the first one teased is Pool Party Thalia. Here the players really want just one thing. Throughout the rest of June, the ranked season will end, there will be a new seasonal tournament, and at the end of the month, the new ranked season will begin. However, on that same day, there will also be a new expansion, called Rise of the Underworlds, with the cover art of this expansion being none other than Von Yip. If you know me, you know that I absolutely loved his lore. And this seems to be an expansion that will not be adding in a new deck. I don't think we are getting Ishtal or the Void. Though it would be cool if, just like in the lore, Riot actually separated Piltover from Zone. Regardless, Von Yip is getting more of the spotlight and I'm happy. But 14 days after that, on July the 14th, we are getting the Ruination event. And as you'll see later in the video, the Ruination will get an event over all the other games. Riot is probably planning something really big. So just know that Legends of Runeterra will be part of this. And then finally, on July the 28th, they are planning a new lab. But for now, that's really it for Legends of Runeterra. So now, let's move on to Wild Rift. I need to call out that in the East, the Wild Rift client is getting things earlier, which means that after getting it, Skin Spotlight was able to data mine a lot of new things. First of all, after checking the champions, the background of every single region got corrupted. It's not just Shurima, which means that Wild Rift will also be part of the Ruination event, but things get better than that. On top of the backgrounds, the Eastern client is hiding a lot more, such as all the new emotes. There are emotes for Battle Academia, and funnily enough, the 3D assets for the classroom were in the original alpha client. But no one wanted to mention that because Riot really doesn't like it when you data mine stuff. But since it was pretty much revealed by the Eastern players, now everyone knows, so that's why we can look at these. Anyway, besides the Battle Academia, we also got emotes for the Pool Party skins. Now, Riot revealed that we will be getting Pool Party Lee Sin and Renekton, but these also reveal Lulu and Orianna. But even those are not the best of these leaks. Because on top of that, there is also an emote for Senna, Lucian, and then 3 more. While these don't really have an official title, it is theorized that all of these are Light Sentinel skins. So just like League got the Ruin skins, Wild Rift is getting Light Sentinels. And these seem to be Vayne, Riven, and pretty much anyone. I kinda hope that this is Sivir, because if the new Light Sentinel is in Shurima, it would make sense for Sivir to join the fight. But if this is a Light Sentinel skin, it can really be anyone. On top of these, there are new bubbles. There is one for Riven and Irelia, we will talk about these in just a moment. But there are also the Ruined Chains and the Light Sentinel Sigil. Once again, this pretty much confirms that there is a Ruination event. Then there are 2 new bubbles for Arcade and Battle Academia, with each also having their own recall. Then, as part of the upcoming Ruination event, there are also the Spawn Sigils, and there is even an icon for the Ruination and the Light Sentinels. So in this event you might also be choosing who you want to be fighting for. And then there was a data mine for something which we thought was cooler than it actually is. There was also a bunch of new images which we thought would be tied to new events. But that's not the case for all of them. There is the art of Senna and Lucian, which absolutely will be the Ruination event key art. This is likely what you will see after you log into the game. But then there was also this, or this, or this. But unfortunately, none of these are separate events. All of these are tied to a new feature which Wild Rift has. You can now connect your account to another player and become close friends. Close friends will get increased experience, and they will even share champion pools. But here's the thing, even these images are teasing things. Xayah and Rakan make sense, they are the closest of friends. Darius and Draven also make sense, they are brotherly friends. And then there are the Star Guardians. But it's interesting to see that in the background you can actually see Zoe. I wonder if this is teasing that Zoe as a champion with this skin will be joining Wild Rift in the future. But then this was data mined. That's one way to leak a champion. I strongly doubt they would be using the art of Nunu without any plans of adding him into the game. So even though yes, the game is from the universe where Nunu exists, this is pretty much a teaser at this point. I would be very disappointed if this was just a random art. And lastly, they also data mined the art of Riven and Irelia. Speaking of which, if you log into the game right now, you will see that the event for the Broken Blades is already happening. This is an event where you choose to fight for Riven or Irelia, not Syndra. And somehow these 2 champions also got their own special cinematic. Can we just talk about how cool it is that Riot is rendering these videos in widescreen so that you can watch these on your phones? Anyway, these 2 were never really mortal enemies, but that's not stopping us from giving them an event. They look really cool though. But that is it for Wild Rift. So now let's move on to the final thing. Valorant. There is a lot happening here and quite frankly I am nervous because Valorant is getting lore. What am I gonna do with my free time? On one side people want me to cover it, on the other side I know that there are channels who are already covering it. Why would I be doing it? Anyway, if you go to our second channel, we already covered the first trailer. I will most likely not be covering the lore, but it is really cool that Riot actually gave everything sense. It's like at first they were like, you know, we can't have the same agent on both sides at once, so it would make sense gameplay-wise. But what about the lore? Do you wanna play pretend or do you wanna make us make it make sense? Yes. And that's what this is. Everything is random and weird, but everything is canon. I love it. But on top of the fact that Riot is actually giving Valorant lore, they are also launching their first year anniversary. During this there will be a lot of new missions with new unique rewards, but also people will be able to vote for which guns they wanna see in the shop. The winners will be chosen on the 16th, and that bundle with those guns will be available from June 22nd, with a portion of the money they get from it going towards Riot Games Special Impact Fund. As part of this event there will be 3 new cards, a community battle pass, which is a pass that will feature guns that people voted for, there will be more gun buddies, and XP. Which is nice because Riot is also launching the account leveling. This means that just like in League, your Valorant account will have levels. So this is basically a never-ending battle pass, which simply means free stuff for everyone. Nice. And lastly, Riot is also teasing a new agent. It's gonna be some kind of a hacker, and based on the text, it seems like they will have a silence. They will make it so that agents can't use their abilities. We have no idea how that will work, but something like that is being teased. However, all of this is not the coolest news about Valorant just yet. Because in a Polygon article, Riot also teased that they will be working on a Valorant mobile game. I know what you are thinking about, but actually, Riot is really good with their mobile games. We don't really learn anything from the article, we just know that in a year or two we may see something about it. But Valorant Mobile is in a development. We don't know how far it is, but Riot is seeing if they can make it work. But that's it for Valorant, so now onto the last piece of news. As part of the Geek Week on Netflix, next week we will get more info on Arcane. That's really it. That's the news. We don't know anything just yet. But that's it for this episode of Rift News. I really hope you enjoyed this. Because I don't know if I'll do it again, because this actually adds a lot of time to the editing. So if you enjoyed this, good. I'll not be vlogging though.